Hi guys. So today I'm going to talk about expectations and disappointment. So when we think about the relationships that we have in our lives, now that comes down to work colleagues, acquaintances, friendships, relationships, romantically, even your family. What is the biggest, cause of resentment? And the biggest cause of resentment is expectations. Now, the expectations that we place on ourselves are completely different. So, as in, I have expectations that someone who comes into my life will be a high value person. Someone who I spend a lot of time with, who I actually, invite into my life to meet my children, whatever, you can think of in that situation, will have high values. And those values will reach my expectations. So my expectations might be, like, I don't want someone who is abusive. I don't want to have a friend who, is unreliable. I don't want to have, a friend who maybe when I'm out in public starts cursing, to the point where it's really inappropriate. Like they might make, jokes when you're in a children's playground, for instance. Like, you've got to think about where your expectations are. Mine are going to be different to yours, and that's a part of our values and our lives, and how we've kind of reached this point in time and where we are. And who you're hanging around with as well. Like, there could be old people from old crowds that you're hanging around with, and you start to kind of notice, well, they've been loyal, I love them so much, but gosh, when they do these types of things, I just feel like we have moved apart. Like there's always going to be those realizations that come up, and you can kind of wonder, is this okay for me anymore? I mean, obviously I want to be a loyal person, and that's one of your values. So you have conflicting values, they're rubbing against each other, because you've got loyalty and then you've got social appropriateness or reliability or communication or being open or non-judgmental. I mean, I noticed when I was hanging out with, different people that I hadn't seen in a long time, that the judgment from them towards other people was there, and that made me very uncomfortable. There was awkward looks or snide comments towards other people as we were going, in the shopping centre or wherever, and I just thought, oh, I don't really agree with that. And that's something that's personal for me, but everybody has values that they really need to stick by, that they're their limits. And it's really good to be open when you're starting a new relationship on what your limits are. I mean, obviously, you don't need to say it if they're doing everything that you find appropriate. But if they start doing things that affect you, like inside, that kind of make you angry or make you feel like you're not valued, it's an important time to address where your limits are and to speak up about it, because being submissive and not mentioning where your limits are will get you the toxic types of people that you don't really want in your life, because they'll say, oh, I did this and she didn't really say anything or do anything, so I'm really happy about that, because I've caught one. It's just fishing ground for toxic people with their lines. And it's not something that you want to invite into your life, especially when you're trying to get better, or you are better, or you're trying to work through anxiety or mental illness, or, stay in recovery. I mean, there are so many things that are on the line. Your mental well-being are on the line from ignoring those inner expectations that you have of what you want in your life. Now, when it comes to outer expectations, so we're looking at external ones here. External expectations are dangerous. And the reason that they're dangerous is because you might be starting a new relationship with someone, romantically or friendship, like I said, could be any area of your life. And you're looking at, my expectations, my internal expectations are now coming out, and I want this person to be a certain way. I want them to tick these kinds of boxes, and I want them to talk to me a certain amount of times a day, blah blah blah. I want you might have these expectations that might actually be unrealistic because of your own insecurities, or you might misunderstand something that was said and then feel as though they've broken a promise, or they've, so it's really important to, if you're feeling uncomfortable, like somebody has broken a promise or that they're not reaching the expectations that you have of them, to look at those expectations and say, are these realistic? Was this just an emotional feeling that came up from something previously? Is there a pattern that's in my life that I am now taking it out on this one person who's only done it one time? And, those kinds of things are really important, because that pattern is not with that person. So it's important to break those two apart and say, okay, look, that's actually not their problem, and I'm sorry that I pushed that onto them, and then once you get disappointed because you had these expectations, this person was going to, do this or that you expected them to do, then you open your doors up for disappointment. And disappointment can come out in so many different ways. Disappointment can come out in aggression. It can come out in sadness in your own self. It can affect your own emotional well-being and stability. And a really good way to kind of look at that, because if you have continued disappointment, then you have resentment. And resentment damages relationships. It really does, because you can find people, being unfaithful because they feel undervalued, because it's a pattern and they've been disappointed a certain amount of times. You can find people, friendships breaking up, and long time friendships just crumbling because there's this resentment that's built over time, and things haven't either been addressed or changed or been said. Okay, and what I was thinking of doing today was a small exercise on just kind of looking at your expectations and your disappointment, and taking them on a little visualization trip for you. Okay, guys, so I would like you all to close your eyes, and let's imagine we are at the bottom of a mountain. Okay, now this mountain is quite steep. It's your life. Okay, so of course it's steep. It's huge. Now, you are yourself in this exercise. I want you to imagine yourself, and you're in some hiking gear. You are fantastic. You're prepared for life. And next to you is your expectation. It's your disappointment. I want you to envision a person. Okay, and while you're doing this, focus on your breathing as well to really, kind of be in that moment. I want you to be tranquil and calm. Now, your expectation and your disappointment can look however you like. Mine is like a little old man. He's quite angry as well. He's not overly friendly. He's like, why? What are we doing? I thought we were going to go up the mountain, but it's taking forever. I mean, I just wanted to be there already, and now I'm kind of getting a little bit sad. So he's quite aggressive already, and we're just at the bottom of the mountain. So that's my little expectation, sadness kind of dude. He's very disappointed in me already. So look, what I want you guys to do is I want you to start walking up this mountain, but I want you to, instead of getting angry or impatient with disappointment and expectation, I want you to put your arm around him, and I want you to tell him, I understand. Not only do I understand, but we've all been there. We've been to these situations that make us feel like we're undervalued, that no one cares. We make ourselves feel unloved with our expectations and our disappointment. I want you guys to keep breathing, keep focusing on your breathing, and I want you to look at expectation and disappointment, however they look in your mind, and I want you to ask him or her, do you want to jump on my back? Now, I know this sounds quite odd, because nobody wants to put expectation or disappointment on their back. right? That's a heavier load, isn't it? So, disappointment agrees, regretfully, but he agrees. And he gets on my back. Okay, I want you guys to envision this. Now we're walking up the mountain. It's actually taking a lot less time now. And we're not really getting as much angst or any kind of aggression or sadness or anything from disappointment and expectation. He's just enjoying the ride. Now, we finally make it to the top. Okay, our life has been amazing. And what we've actually done is we've put expectation and disappointment behind us. Not only have we put him behind us, but we've avoided going through any kind of conflict. We've avoided going against him. We've avoided looking expectation and disappointment in the face. And we've said, I'm sorry, but do you want to join me? You want to be a part of my life in a healthy way. Because like I said, we can use expectations healthily and we can use disappointment in a healthy way to analyze whether someone is worth our time, whether that job is worth our stress. It's always a great idea to join with those emotions that you're feeling and to just kind of visualize that mountain or that stream or, that situation that is healthy and happy and really helps you reflect in your own mind. Or, physically, if you want to go out to something that, the beach or the park or something like that. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to do a bit of a small reading meditation thing today that I thought up and looked at some different exercises and made this one, so I hope you guys like it. So please give me some feedback, and I always love hearing new ideas on what you guys want to hear about. And this week I would like you guys to think about your expectations on life, about how you view what happens and how you get over disappointment. Like, what do you do when you feel really sad because something didn't work out, or it didn't, the expectation that you had of them, you had this person on a pedestal, and then you really kind of figured out that they were kind of down there, and you were like, oh my goodness. Not to say that everybody, that you have expectations of is like that. I'm just giving you guys an example of a possible situation. Okay, I will go. Gosh, I always just ramble, don't I? Love you guys, and I will see you all next week.